Bonjour tout le monde. Right now we are at the international airport in Geneva because today we are flying to Stockholm, the capital of Sweden, one of the Scandinavian countries. I've been wanting to go on this trip for a long time, and here we are about to make that dream come true.
Каждый миг словно летний дождь. С друзьями рядом по миру летаем. Жизнь одна, и мы ее не упускаем. Под ритмы дискотеки в новый танец. Вспышки света и огонь фантазий. Забудь о грусти, бери свой шанс, ведь вечер наш.
Hello everyone, so we just got to Arlanda International Airport in Stockholm, Sweden. I am extremely excited. Right now Richard has to go down to collect his suitcase and later we have to get the train to the city centre.
We're so happy to be finally in Sweden. I've been dreaming about coming here for a long time.
At the end we decided to go by bus to the city centre because it is only 129 SEK, which is basically about 11 euros per person. We're talking about 22 euros from here to the city centre, whereas if you got the train, the express train, it would take almost the same amount of time and it would be twice the price. We're talking about 40 euros. And as you know, Sweden happens to be one of the most expensive countries in the world. And right now we are on the saving money mode. As soon as you get here, you can actually read a QR code and you can just buy the ticket online to get the bus ticket.
Все проблемы будто дым уходят. Наслаждайся ночью без преград. Вечеринка до утра зовет нас. В кругу друзей легко дышать. Пульсирует музыка, дает свой приказ. Мы здесь, чтобы вместе мечтать.
It is very odd to see 7-Eleven here in Sweden, as it is something that normally people relate with Asia or the United States. However, it is not the same as they don't sell any alcohol. We really wanted to have a beer, that's why we came to this bar during the happy hour. Each beer came to 4 euros. That's really good taking into account that this is Sweden. After a long day of traveling, we were feeling rather hungry. Therefore, we came to this Japanese restaurant. We decided to have a ramen. The pork in this soup was absolutely delicious. And to end the evening, we decided to come to this karaoke bar. Potentially speaking, the best karaoke bar we have ever been to. Most people sang very well. We were really shocked. We are very happy with the breakfast that we just had in this hotel. I do have to say that we hadn't had something like that in a very long time. And we just basically paid exactly the same amount if you would go to a place like this in any other country, but without breakfast. So the fact that here they give you such a high quality breakfast is just like surreal.
We had low expectations, but when we came downstairs and we saw the massive choice of breakfast on offer, we were flabbergasted.
Yeah,
Amazing.
exactly. And we also like the fact that we were given a very good, I would say, we were given enough space in our room because we have like a double bed, a single bed, and I just like it. And the heating is not as strong as we would like. And but we also have a lovely view from our window, so we are so looking forward to discovering more of Stockholm.
Là-bas où les eaux brillent, sous le ciel gris, les rues murmurent des secrets. enfoui. Stockholm s'éveille dans un palais de lumière, un rêve glacé, un souffle d'hiver. Les pavés chantent sous mes pas légers, les ponts s'étendent des bras pour voyager. Les étoiles se posent sur l'eau endormie.
I am still happy to be here in Stockholm. I have been dreaming about this city for such a long time. Even though we had been to the country because we went about 6 years ago to Malmö, my biggest dream in this country was to visit the capital city because Stockholm is regarded by many as one of the most beautiful cities in the world, not just in Europe. And right now we are at Drottninggatan Street, which is one of the main streets in the historical center of the city. It was laid out back in the 1630s, so you can imagine how much history you can see here. And there is something very curious about this street, and it's that you can find stone lions like in China. You know, like when you go to China, you see the shishis as well. Here you can also see them.
Les maisons colorées qui bordent tes canaux murmurent.
We've seen something very interesting here, that in the taxis here in Sweden, especially in the capital, they have the name of their capital, Stockholm, pasted on it, so you know it's a Stockholm taxi.
Des chansons perdues dans l'air léger, sous la lune rousse qui éclaire le nord. Une chaleur douce renaît fort et fort.
I found very interesting that the logo of the National Mail Company of Sweden is very similar to the one in Spain.
Fier, Stockholm, je suis pris dans ta lumière. Oh, oh, Stockholm, mon amour endormi. Dans tes brumes, je trouve qui je suis. Tes ombres froides réchauffent.
We think it is time to have a coffee break. We came to Espresso House, which is literally the Starbucks of the Scandinavian countries. It was founded in this country in 1996. Nowadays you can find it in Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark and Germany.
Oh, really?
Где солнце лечит тени дня, шведские сосны прячут меня. Острова в туманной реке любовь нашла в северной тоске. Купола небес роняют свет.
I do have to say that I don't think originally we were ready for this level of beauty. Stockholm proved to be like 3 times more beautiful because I think that we were ready just for like a quarter of this beauty. Seriously, I do have to say that Stockholm must be one of the most incredible cities in the world. I really cannot believe that after all these years of been traveling around the world, we have never been to this city. But I'm very glad that in 2025, right at the beginning of the year, we decided to come here. This is fate because we actually were planning to go to Asia, and later then we said that we wanted to go to Canada, and then I thought, you know what, why don't we stay in the continent? And here we are.
Well, we wanted to go to Vietnam, but we weren't able to do so, and we're really missing the whole swimming experience. So I'm thinking right now I'm going to go into this water. Here we go. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3.
Танцуют тени вдоль горных троп, круглое солнце садится в сток. Море несет нас в свои края. Швеция, без тебя мне нельзя. Северный холод, но душа горяча. Каждый рассвет обещает встреча. На землю в белый шелк падет туман. В воздухе летает древний роман. О-о-о-о, Швеция, страна мечты, где вечер пахнет счастьем простым.
on Riddarholmen Island. This is one of the many islands that compose the city of Stockholm, because Stockholm is an archipelago city. On this island, you can also find the courthouse of the city, and I really like because there is a very nice open view to one of the many sources of water in the city. It seems absolutely fantastic. Imagine if you came here in the summer, and also from here you can see the city hall of the city. Just by looking at the water, because like it is partly frozen, it makes me feel sick, because imagine if we went swimming there, I would literally die. However, if we were in a nice sauna, just like in Russia, you know, extremely hot, then obviously to cool down, you can just go swimming here and then go back into the sauna. That way it would be possible.
Although this is a piece of cake for us in terms of the temperature, when we were in Siberia, we experienced minus 45 degrees, and that was extremely cold. But we're still not used to this weather because we haven't been in Siberia for a long time, so this is still very cold. But it's not as cold as Russia.
Beneath the skies where the fjords hum low, winds whisper tales where the birches grow. A land of calm where rivers shine. Sweden's grace is purely divine. Pine trees sway in their ancient song. Mountains stand steadfast, proud and strong, with golden fields and lakes that glow. Home of the North, this heart does know. Winds of Sweden carry me through icy streams.
You know that whenever people talk about Scandinavia, they kind of fear these cities because they think they are extremely expensive, you know, cities like Copenhagen and Stockholm and Oslo. At least I do have to say that for what we have seen here in Stockholm, the city is extremely diverse. Just like if you were in London, Paris, Madrid, Milan, Rome, and etc. It is like any Western city. You can find menus in the historical centre for €10.
We just had a lovely meal with a meatball, with potatoes, and there was a salad buffet, and you can have as much as you want. Very good.
And also, if you went to a bar, if you went like during the happy hour, you can get a pint for like €4, which is rather good. But of course, if you go out of that time, you can just pay as much as you would in London and Paris, I guess, €7, which is like the average. So to me, it's just like any Western European city. Of course, if you came from other countries with lower salaries, and I guess from Eastern Europe or from other countries outside of Europe that are not as wealthy as European countries, I guess that you might find it expensive, but coming from the West is exactly the same.
Silver wings touch the icy sky. Midnight whispers as the stars float by.
So everyone, right now we're going to Gamla Stan, which is basically the Swedish translation of the Old Town. It is situated on Stockholm Island, and the buildings here date back to the 17th and 18th century.
I feel extremely happy to be celebrating my 28th birthday here in Scandinavia, because we are going to be celebrating it between Stockholm and Copenhagen in Denmark. I love this part of Europe, and I believe that this was the perfect time to come in my life, you know, and oh my goodness, I cannot believe I'm 28.
Well, you've still got 2 more years until 30, so any of you watching this video, please write in the comment section and wish him a happy Scandinavian birthday.
Yes, exactly.
Biting air, a world so cold, yeah, love's away.
standing in one of the most interesting sites in the historical town of Stockholm. I'm talking about the replica of the depiction of St. George killing the dragon. The real sculpture is situated in Stockholm Church in the historical center right here. You can pay 10 euros and you can go and see it. It was inaugurated in 1489, so the real one is extremely old. But if you don't want to pay anything, you can just come and see the replica, which is situated right here.
On windows of eternity, take me where the aurors play.
So guys, we finally got to the Stortorget, which is the medieval square here in Stockholm. Every Christmas they have a lovely Christmas market here with lots of stalls, lots of lights, and you can just feel the festive spirit here. And there are also lots of nice restaurants where you can try typical Swedish food.
Right now we are going to be visiting Storkyrkan Cathedral, which was the first church to be built here in Stockholm. It was consecrated to Saint Nicholas in the 13th century. You normally have to pay 10 euros to come inside, but today there is free entry. We are extremely lucky. As you can see, the cathedral still preserves its medieval decoration, but we have come for one specific thing to this place. We have come to see the original sculpture of St. George killing the dragon, which dates back to 1489. Storkyrkan is really special not only because of the sculpture, but also because even royal weddings have been held in this beautiful cathedral. Good morning everyone, today is our second day here in Stockholm. Right now we are on our way to the Nordiska Museum, which opened in the 19th century, dedicated to the cultural history and ethnography of Sweden. It is said that the Swedish history began in the year 1520. As you know, in the past, Sweden used to be one single country with Norway and Denmark, and it was famously known as Scandinavia, but this museum is specifically dedicated to the Swedish history.
And we're going to take a tram, and I've just been told by the man that you can swipe your credit card on the tram, so you don't have to buy a ticket from a little machine. Just get on there and swipe.
We finally go to the museum. The entry has a price of 15 euros. I believe it is a very fair fee, to be honest, especially taking into account that we are in Sweden. I have been always fascinated by the Scandinavian and Viking history, so that's why I know that we won't regret coming to this wonderful museum. In the museum, we found this lovely display which is rather cute. It is an example of what a traditional Swedish house would look like. Let me tell you how Richard and I got to Cologne. On the day we went from Spain to Geneva, we wanted to celebrate the fact that it was going to be my birthday very soon, so we went to the old town to this very small bar. But because they had outdoor heaters, we thought there was not going to be a problem to be sitting outside. The moment that the girl brought the 2 beers, the fire went off. Imagine, so there we were, it was 4 degrees, we were drinking 2 cold drinks, and no wonder why we got a cold.
So I just hope that I get better so I can enjoy Sweden properly.
Exactly, but the funny thing is that I got actually ill on the same day, but I got over it after 4 days. And now Rich is going through that.
Well, this is life.
There is something that I really like about the Scandinavian countries. I don't know if you haven't noticed, but whenever you come to their cities, for example, like Stockholm, Copenhagen, Helsinki and Oslo, you would see something which is very characteristic of their buildings. I'm talking about the pointed spires. What do you think about them?
The pointy spires are so beautiful, especially with the material that they have and this like
And the
light
colour.
green colour.
Yeah, which is kind of like a turquoise color. I just really love it. And this is something that, once again, I believe it is very characteristic of the north of Europe.
Imagine living in a place like that, you'd feel like a king.
Где солнце лечит тени дня, шведские сосны прячут меня. Острова в туманной реке любовь нашла в северной тоске. Купола небес роняют свет, ветры шепчут шведский секрет. Тишина объятием обнимает, и сердце стылое растопляет. О, Швеция, страна мечты, где вечер пахнет счастьем простым.
Good morning, everyone. So right now we are going to the old town once again because we want to go to the other side of the city. We want to see the city museum today. It is for free. So if you come here and you like learning about the history of the place that you go to but without paying anything, that's a very good option.
People say the City Museum is the best museum in terms of learning all about Sweden and Scandinavian life, and it's right in the centre and it's free of charge.
And they also say that it is even more complete than the Nordiska Museum. So we have to go there and check it out for ourselves.
Холод, но душа горяча, каждый рассвет обещает встреча. На землю в белый шелк падет туман, в воздухе летает древний роман. О, Швеция, страна мечты, где вечер пахнет счастьем простым. О, в сердце синий огонь, скандинавский роман поет мне звон.
Do you know, with the sun in Stockholm, it's like a different city. It feels like if we had gone to another country. It doesn't seem like the same city at all.
It really gives a breath of fresh air when you see the sun shining on your face. You feel warm and it's not that cold.
I know that we had said that we were going to the city museum, but as we were walking through the old town, we realized that it would be better to go first to the royal palace of the city. This is the official residence of King Carl XVI Gustav and Queen Sylvia. about the Royal Palace of Stockholm?
It was like living in a real fairy tale. I just absolutely loved the furniture, the ornaments, the decorations. It was like being transported back to a time that was very different to the one we're living in now.
Exactly, and we do have to agree that it doesn't fall short from other royal palaces in Europe, like the one in Madrid, Versailles, and Buckingham. I do have to say that it is just as beautiful, and the deco is just like something that you would be expecting to see in, of course, a royal palace. And by the way, while we were inside the royal palace, we met this lovely lady working there. Her name was Anna, and she was just a delight of a person.
She was very learned about history, about culture and art, and we had lots of lovely conversations with her, and it really enhanced our experience in the royal palace.
Exactly, and also, do you know that when we started speaking to her, we realized that her English was extremely good, very fluent. And then she told us that she's half British, half Swedish. She lived in Essex.
Yeah, it was like talking with an aristocrat.
Exactly, so her dad was from the UK, her mom is from here. Yeah. So she speaks Swedish and English. As promised, we are finally going to the City Museum. Let's see what we can learn about Stockholm.
Là-bas où les eaux brillent, sous le ciel gris, les rues murmurent des secrets enfouis. Stockholm s'éveille dans un palais de lumière, un rêve glacé, un souffle d'hiver. Les pavés chantent sous mes pas légers, les ponts s'étendent, des bras pour voyager. Les étoiles se posent sur l'eau endormie. Un conte scandinave.
This evening, we decided to come to the old town for dinner. We came to one of the many Viking taverns in Stockholm.
Stockholm, mon amour endormi. Dans tes brumes, je trouve qui je suis. Tes ombres froides réchauffent mon cœur. Ton âme profonde apaise mes peurs.
As soon as we finished our dinner, we decided to go to a different bar with a bit more of a cheerful and lively ambience, and we did find it. However, as soon as I saw that it started snowing, I went straight away to the street because I wanted to see the snowfall, as I hadn't seen one at least for a whole year. It was really magical.
Murmure d'histoire, reflets d'art brutaux. Les bateaux glissent comme des rêves éthérés. Des chansons perdues dans l'air léger. Sous la lune rousse qui éclaire.
Do you like this now?
Good morning, we are loving the snow. Last night we had an amazing evening. We went out of a club and it was snowing and it was an amazing atmosphere. And now we've got to be careful not to slip up.
Exactly. But as you can see, there is hardly any snow and the snow layer is very thin. It looks more like frost, to be honest, but it was enough for us to be very happy when we saw it snowing yesterday when we were in the bar. And as you can see, it is a bit white today. But this is gonna sound hilarious. At some point in my life, I actually began to hate snow very much. Because when we lived in Izhevsk in Russia near Siberia, we would have like around, I would say, 20 centimeters of snow every single day for like the whole entire winter. So you can imagine how frustrating it was. But to see it after like such a long time, it's kind of like a nice, refreshing thing to me.
It's magical to see the snow, but in the past it was a trauma for us because we kept on slipping up all the time.
We are right now in front of the concert hall of Stockholm, and I have to say that I really love this building because it reminds me of the Soviet buildings that you would find in the ex-Soviet countries. Specifically, I would have to say that if you went to Vedinha in the north of Moscow, which is basically a complex, it's like an exposition of the ex-Soviet republics of the Soviet Union, you would find many buildings that would resemble a lot this one. These banners are not here by coincidence. Right now we are at Kunststraat Garden. This is a Chinese display of the Chinese New Year. There is also an exposition about Chinese culture and history in one of these buildings. Obviously, we are going to have a look of it as Rachel and I are learning Chinese, and of course, it is very interesting for us, especially because it is for free to come here.
欢热笑语满家宴，蛙声响起舞翩跹，新年祝福连成片，一生悠扬传人心，共迎新春笑开颜。传花间处春的心中情，千家万户门全齐，福满人间暖不停。蛙声响起舞翩跹，新年祝福连成。
We just went to the Chinese Cultural Center. I have to say that it was an incredible experience. And the girl from Beijing told us that we can go to Madrid and Copenhagen as well, because they've got cultural center in several cities around Europe.
This is the good thing about learning Chinese, is that you can practice it almost anywhere on the globe.
金蛇起舞天地欢，新古真香万古传，年味伴随家乡情，愿万家平安喜团圆。
So we just went to one of the many convenience stores here in Stockholm, and we wanted to have 2 Americanos, and the girl said, no, we don't sell Americanos, we sell black coffee. And I thought, you know what, you are right, they are no Americanos, they are just black coffee, because that's what they are. As you know, coffee wasn't first invented by the Americans, so why should that be called Americano? That's a very stupid, idiotic term, and I agree 1000% with the mentality here in Sweden. It is not an Americano, it is a black coffee, because that's what it is.
What do you call it in your countries?
Kaslet Island, and actually the name of the island is Kaslet Holmen, because in Swedish that is basically Swedish for island. Anyway, so you can see the castle here. This castle, believe it or not, was built in the 1600s. It was destroyed in 1845, but eventually it was rebuilt once again, and you can see until this day. What do you think about it?
I think it's really nice, and from here not only have you got the castle, but you've got a splendid view of the Nordiska Museum, and you've also got an amazing theme park, which is probably only operating in the summer because now it's too cold.
And we can also see the Spanish embassy. For lunch, we decided to come to one of the IKEA cafes in Stockholm, and we decided to have the iconic meatballs and mashed potatoes, which is something very typical of this country. We also got a salad. Everything was extremely tasty.
Windows of eternity. Take me where the auroras play. Colors bloom.
And for a bit more than €1, you can have an ice cream as dessert. In my case, I wanted to top it up as there wasn't anyone by the machine. And that's what I did. It was extremely tasty. That evening we went to the same bar that we went last night. It was really interesting, we had a lot of fun and we met people from different countries.
Colors bloom in the night's ballet. Heart to heart in the biting air. A world so cold, yet love's aware.
Good morning everyone. So yesterday we went dancing until very late. We came back like around 3 a.m. in the morning. But you know what? I don't regret it at all. Well, at least I don't.
No, neither do I.
Because we didn't drink a lot. We just had to visit. Imagine.
Very good.
Like we stayed until 3 a.m. in the morning and we just had to visit. So now like that's a record. That's a new record for us.
And I think we were dancing like around 5 hours non-stop.
And we were drinking a lot of water because like here in Sweden, what I've noticed is that by the bar they put like a jar of water, and then like if you feel thirsty you can just go and get some water for yourself, which is very convenient of course. And that's why I believe that we're not feeling wasted. So right now we are going to the National Museum. Yesterday we wanted to go there, but because I wanted to buy my shoes. By the way, look at my new shoes. They are made in Sweden. Anyway, I love them. So right now we are going to the National Museum. And I don't know if you have not noticed, but it is snowing right now. Very weakly, but it is.
And it's -5 apparently.
Yeah. Well, it is very cold here. But we love the winter, don't we?
It's something that you need to get a dose of snow at least once a year to feel happy.
Look at this. We really cannot believe that on the last day before going we are having this lovely experience. I know that most people don't see a snowfall as something lovely and beautiful, but to me it is. To me it does like seem like it's something very interesting.
we're having a beautiful blizzard.
Exactly. So everyone, we have come to the end of this vlog. Right now we are going to the train station because today we're going down to Copenhagen in Denmark. We are really happy. If you liked the video, please do not hesitate to give us a thumbs up and to subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you have any question about the city, please write it down below in the comments, and if we know the answer, we will reply back to you. In any case, thank you for watching, stay safe, and see you very soon in Copenhagen.
Souffle d'hiver, les pavés chantent sous mes pas légers. Les ponts s'étendent, des bras pour voyager. Les étoiles se posent sur l'eau endormie. Un conte scandinave au bord de la vie.